Hi friends. It will be helpful if I knew the name of the brand. Today we'll be going over Wayne Goss's Radiance Boosting. Yes, the Radiance Boosting Face Palette. But first, if it's your first time here, hi, I'm Alicia. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinkysweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. A huge thank you to Beautylish for sending these over. We have all three palettes alongside his blush palettes, his eyeshadow palettes, and all his brushes. Thought it'd be appropriate to feature his tools while using his makeup. As I am filming this video, the countdown is on. In like 10 minutes or so, these will be going live on Beautylish, where these are exclusively sold. And to quickly go over product details, each one of these babies, this right here, retails for $45. If you are not familiar with Wayne Goss, he is a makeup artist that first featured his brushes on Beautylish maybe like, oh my gosh, 4 years ago? It could have been more than that. You get a lot of product from Wayne Goss palettes, and even before he started his own makeup line, he stressed the importance of getting the most for your buck. And although I get that, Wayne, is a lot of product for one person. And, you know, I would be good with half of this. Maybe, you know, I know it's not feasible to do pro sizes and consumer sizes, but that is a lot for one person to use, and maybe more appropriate for a pro if they have several clients of a similar skin tone, or they just have a whole slew of skin tones to work on. And these pans, I think, are appropriately sized for that type of work. I went on a slight tangent, excuse me. I wanted to mention the product details quickly. So each of these retail for $45. However, you do get a whopping 16.5 grams in total, which comes up to, what is half of that? I am the worst at math. Almost 8 grams per pan. That's not bad. It's a lot, but you know, for $45. A suggested shelf life of 9 months. Not a long time with this one. Made in the USA. Let's see a couple of ingredient callouts, or let's just do the product description, shall we? Sun-kissed sculpted skin, made easy. The Radiance Boosting Face Palette by Wayne Goss is a contour and bronzer powder duo that gives you everything you need to shape, sculpt, and boost your skin's youthful radiance with a natural, healthy looking finish. If you want more details about his philosophy on bronzer and contour and what he wanted to accomplish with this collection, I will link his video down below so you can take a look at that. Wayne says, I wanted to create a palette that anyone can use to recreate the look of skin gently kissed by the sun. The powder goes on like silk for skin that radiates health. And as you see here, we have a bronzer and a contour shade. And I like that distinction. I appreciate it because they're often blurred. I have often blurred those two makeup items myself. Contour, you definitely want it to be cooler or more neutral in tone to emulate that sculpt effect. It definitely shapes the face, it gives the face structure, whereas a bronzer is present to give you radiance, to give you that sun-kissed look, as Wayne had said, in a way that looks very natural. We have 3 palettes in all. The one I was holding up is the Satin Bronze, which I think would be for my, you know, skin type of the range. The lightest is light gold, and the deepest, I believe, is called Deep Copper. Now, I do think we could have used one more duo. You'll see that it swatches deeper than how it looks in pan. I still think we could have used another duo that went even deeper to provide not only the sculpt shade, but the bronzer shade for those on that part of the skin tone spectrum. And why not? Let's start with Deep Bronze. Let me get the shade descriptions here. Copper glow, rich bronze with warm undertone, deep taupe, deep tan with neutral undertones. Next up, Satin Bronze. Bronze glow, medium tan with neutral undertone. Medium taupe with cool undertones. I tried this yesterday, and although it looks very cool, it does create a really nice sculpt, as you will see for the demo. And lastly, we have Light Gold. Soft Gold Glow is a soft beige with gold. Probably wear that as a highlighter looking at this now. Light Taupe. Soft beige with cool undertones, and light taupe is light taupe with cool undertones. That could be very fair skin appropriate, but there's a huge jump from satin bronze to like gold. And I think this is a pretty reasonable jump, but I think we need another, well, I guess ideally we need two more. We need one between soft bronze and light gold, and one more after, I believe is called deep copper. And some ingredient callouts here: infused with cocoa, mango, and kupuk. I always, how do you say this?
Kupuaku butter.
Kupuaku butter. Kupuaku butter. Gotta leave it to Google sometimes. They really do save the day. The silky powder formula melts into skin without settling into lines or emphasizing texture. It does have a satin finish, yes. Second skin pigments mimic the look and feel of real skin for healthy, youthful radiance. That's all yours. Thank you. Features a luminous bronze shade with a satin skin-like sheen, no visible glitter or sparkle, and a sculpt shade with a natural matte finish to recreate the look of shadows on the face. Palettes individually for $45, or get the whole caboodle for $135. And there's no savings there, it's just the $135. Just want to let you know. And with all the product details and swatches out the way, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. You're probably like, wow, Alicia, the bags. I had a little stint with my allergies over the weekend, fam, so unfortunately my eyes are still recovering from that. It's okay though. We're gonna refresh this skin and it's gonna be fine. Mixing together my Kogendo Moisture Foundation with the Aqua, both in 143. Slap that on real quick and blending that out with no other than Wayne's coveted, well, my coveted 24S. Taking his number 12 in with a little more of the moisture, going over the portions that need more coverage, like a whole lot more coverage. Like right here between the brows, I have these little thingamajiggies that I should have left alone. Should have left them alone. We might have to go a little heavy dutier with the concealer today. Like I might have to double up on the Shiseido, because this is like the tiredness, my gosh. It is really looking like I am so sad. Everything's fine. It's just, you know what it is. Someone needs to get off her phone before they go to bed. I'll dream or think about whatever the last post was, and it's like, that's not very good. You're gonna put your phone on airplane mode, shut it down, and read a book. Okay, we're doing a lot better. You could kind of still see my circles, but it's just a quick brow, just very, very light. There's no mirror on there. All right, let's see if that is gonna wake us up a little bit. I'll take it. I will not set this foundation, as I would like to see how this powder lays down without powder. I know people usually rely on setting their foundation just to get a smoother blend, but it seems like, especially based on the swatches and what I experienced yesterday, this is a very smooth formula and made to be applied on bare skin, on unset foundation, on even powder, and no matter what, the blend will look seamless and very much skin-like, as Wayne had promised. All right, satin bronze, which I think is for like the medium tan. I could go in with several of his brushes. For instance, I could use number 11, which is really nice and tight for the hollows. I could also go in with this number 14, which probably will be my brush of choice, or his beloved fan brush, the holiday one, that woo, or his number 2. Let's go in with the 14 first. In with the sculpt shade medium taupe. Really nice big size mirror here, and you can immediately detect definitely more of a cooler tone, but it doesn't look flat or gray. So nailing sculpt shades for medium skin to medium tan skin can be very tricky, because if it's too cool tone, it could look quite gray and artificial, and simply like it does not belong, right? This, I feel he nailed the color for the sculpt shade. Most definitely. It's not giving me warmth, it's giving me a nice cheekbone, but it doesn't look too gray. I'm just going in and blending it more here, just so you can see. How does that look, fam? And head on, you can see how that sunken in type of a sculpt takes place. So yes, I definitely love this shade. I think the only other shade that I have in my collection is the Makeup Forever Artist Color in, is it S116? This one here, but let's see here. I could put it right, I don't want to mess it up. Let's see. So actually this is a lot lighter than the one from Satin Bronze and Medium Taupe, but that was the only shade I found that exists in my collection that was a suitable undertone for a sculpt shade for my skin tone. And now let's whip on the bronze shade, which I absolutely love. I think it's very lightweight. It gives the right amount of sun-kissed look, of bronzy glow. And although you don't detect any sparkle, you do see the pigments that have that sheen and just buff it out as much as you need. But what I appreciate about this shade and a lot of bronzer that I have in my collection that I hold very dear to my heart is that you could also use this as a blush, that you could bring it a little more forward onto the cheeks, apples of the cheeks more specifically, from the higher points of it. So you could just create that very comprehensive look of healthy sun-kissed skin without the damage, okay? You could also bring it through your crease. So if I were to go in with a fluffy fluff, the number 3, take that same bronze shade and pull it through the crease. I could also pair it with Medium Taupe, as Wayne had heavily suggested one does, to just complete the look, especially when using these palettes. You don't have to use them exclusively on the face, but you most certainly can bring them from cheeks to eyes. Using the number 2 on this side, you know, just to see a little difference here, what we can get from what we use with the number 14. I believe this is Gray Squirrel, so it's not going to lay down as much product as the undyed goat hair brush did, but I do love this size for contour. I feel it fits beautifully into the cheekbones. It's intuitive to use. You could just feel the brush go right where it needs to create that sculpt. And beautiful, again, along the hollows of the cheeks. I'm going to bring it down here along the jawline. And why not? And why not? Let's go back in with the number 16 and just carefully draft a little bit here along the sides of the nose. I think that's very much appropriate to do. And now using his 00 with the bronze shade, a much bigger brush, and I think, you know, one that definitely delivers like that big bronzy brush experience. This is a lovely color. I really like this shade. I think it definitely imbues that look of healthy sun-kissed skin. The bronze tone I think is really nice for my skin tone. Very easy to apply, and I could go willy-nilly on this. I mean, to truly mimic what it will be if I were tan. I'll pull it across the nose, a little across the forehead, you know, pulling the temples together. That's very nice. And here's a look at the texture. Very soft, and you see it has a natural radiance to it that blends not a flat complexion, but one that has vitality, that's multidimensional. Especially when dealing with contour shades that are super matte, it could definitely drop your complexion. It looks too artificially sculpted, but to have a finish that has a little more sheen to it with the sculpting, I think helps greatly. Now I wanted to go back in with, I believe it's called Light Gold, the one suitable for fair to light skin tones, and try on the bronze shade, but like as a highlighter. Taking this airbrush with that shade and just right here on the tops of the cheekbones. I mean, it's not like a traditional highlighter, but it definitely brings in a little more light, so it creates more contrast. I'm actually going to pull it under the bronzer here on the nose and between the forehead, on the chin as well. So that is the soft gold glow. Not to say you have to buy this one too just for highlight. I would just say if you have your favorite highlighter, then go in with that. Maybe one that's more on the satin side, so it could kind of mesh together in terms of how these powders, how they lay down in the skin and their finish. This shade is very, very light. I could possibly punch it in my crease. You know, I wanted to go in with the OG Wayne Goss #4. Shout out to Shannon for reminding me that it's been a while since I said that. This is the taupe shade from the light gold, and for me, perhaps suitable to use if I wanted to create a very light contour on the eyes, for sure. If I had both, you know, if I insisted on getting both, if I was gifted the light gold by accident, I don't know, that's how I would use it. Going into the deep copper palette, however, I definitely will go in with deep taupe on the crease. That's going to give me a little more depth, and it's warmer, so that's, I feel, will better tie in with everything else that's going on the face. You wanted to see the bronze shade on everything. I'm actually going to use his holiday fan brush, because this is going to be a very light wash of color, but you could definitely detect that it's going to bring a little more warmth to the complexion, deepen it all over if you wanted, definitely bringing in a little more bronze overall to the face. And with the contour shade, however, you know what? I'm going to do one side. Hold on. Let's apply a little more of the aqua foundation because I want to start on a clean slate just so you can see how the dark copper contour looks, because if you're trying to decide between the two and you think the medium taupe is too light, just so you can make a better decision based on that application, because depending on what brush you use will determine the intensity of the application, right? So if you want something lighter, then you will use a brush that's more fluffy, has longer strands, versus one that's more tightly packed. Definitely want to go back in with the number 14. Let's take a look at deep taupe. This shade right here, I'm gonna be very careful. See what happens. Not bad at all. It might look like on me, more like a deeper bronze shade. I could only imagine if you are deeper than me that you will have to use a much heavier hand to get that depth. But I'm being very careful, because if I go too much, it could look muddy on me. But this could work. If you're my complexion and you're worried if the bronze shade and satin bronze was not going to be bronzy enough for you, you know what I'm saying? Back in with 00, now with the bronze shade from deep copper, this definitely has more punch from the get-go. Whereas if you want something much lighter, if you don't have to worry about applying with the lighter hand, then the shade from satin bronze I think would be more suitable for your taste. But either will work. I like satin bronze on me because I like the fact that the medium taupe shade looks like an actual sculpt on me, whereas deep taupe, like, there is some shape, there is some sculpt for sure. I think it runs a little too deep, which I'm happy to say, you know, that's an indication that if you are deeper than me, this could work out as an actual sculpt shade for you. And like I said before, would love to see another palette after deep copper, and I could go in with bronze glow and over everything just fall show. And I'm just taking bronze glow on the lids here, deep taupe on the lower lash line, and I'm gonna leave it like that. Throw on a little more hibiscus and more light gold on this side, as well as on the inner corners and the brow bone. So here are all three palettes from Wayne's Radiance Boosting Face Palette Collection. I hope this video was helpful in you deciding if you wanted to buy it. Know that whatever I get in PR or by myself and present on my channel, that is by no means making you have FOMO and making you buy something. If you're not happy about this product, please share it down below. I feel the opinions on Wayne's makeup is very polarized, so it's always interesting to see what you guys have to say. I just wanted to pull this look together just a little bit with some coral rose, because I actually really love his blush palettes. I think they're spectacular. They're really versatile to use. And now to have them with his Radiant Boosting palettes, you know, these are great complexion products. Definitely very skin-like and finish, as I said before. And although a lot of product perhaps is, you know, a good incentive for me to use them more often. Let me know if you have your eye on these, if you have ordered them already. Maybe by this time I upload the video, you might have made that decision by now, but wanted to share anyway, as I believe because these are a part of his permanent line, these are not limited edition, so you don't have to rush out and buy these. I do realize that a few of his blush duos were sold out and took a really long time to restock, so hopefully this time around these will have a little time on the shelf so you guys can decide and not feel rushed to buy them. And if they do sell out, they'll definitely come back. Who knows when? Who knows if that timeline will be shorter than the one with the blush duos. But from using them yesterday and today, I do enjoy these products. Again, I think we need 2 more palettes between light gold and soft bronze and 1 more after deep copper. And I'm really curious to see how deep copper will look on one who is a few shades deeper than me, just to see how well deep taupe can build and to emulate that true sculpt and the bronze shade to deliver a beautiful bronze glow on that skin tone. Let me know what you think down below. I'll see you in the comments below, and until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial, bronze palette extravaganza, monthly favorites, or get ready with me. Take care, and I will see you again soon.